Oh no.
Just a minor note, Beggar. When I left the party, like I kind of like moved to stand off to the side somewhere, a little outside, lifted my skirt up a little bit, and then let Kieran come off from where he was hanging off of my leg.
Scandalous.
Mm-hmm. Look, I wasn't gonna leave him at home. That would be irresponsible.
Yeah, he might have another note in his hands. When
I know. Kieran stays with me, man.
Okay. And that was the ball.
Oh, so good, Beggar. So good.
Oh, yeah. But I was surprisingly reasonable.
As far as you could tell.
As far as, yeah,
First
exactly.
impressions.
That's what scares me.
Always trust the vampires.
Well, yeah, they've had years to become super honest and.
Yeah.
Good.
As someone who DMs Curse of Strahd, yes, definitely, always.
Okay. Front Strahd is a little bit of a different caliber, I'd say. Tiny bit, maybe.
Tiny bit.
Okay, you all head back home to Quartermains, I assume.
Yes.
And if there's anything else, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, you'll take your long rest.
An hour after everyone has settled into bed, I want to do something.
Okay.
I don't settle into bed. I go to my desk. And I'm going to work. Beggar, I'm trying to essentially look over the notes that I have that I've gathered from different places from Istaville in her random notes, and then from the ones that I just have from memory. And kind of recreate on another piece of paper like bits and pieces of what might have like looked like on the paper, of like, oh, like this piece of the paper was burnt up, so I've got like this half of the paper, if that makes sense. So I'm trying to do that with a good chunk of the notes, leaving out some bits and pieces that like more equation and stuff like that, leaving out parts of equations, different things like that, and then getting that together to leave on the scroll. So I'll spend some time doing that.
I'm guessing you make like copies for Vidar that include most of like the basic information.
The basic information, even like suggesting like partial key parts, but like still leaving out like one ingredient or something like that.
Okay, so you do include most of the like details on Braga at least, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll stay up however late need be to finish that and then put that on the scroll and activate it before going to bed.
Do you magically transcribe these notes or?
No, I'm handwriting it. I'm staying up late.
Okay, yeah, then it's definitely like at the point you go to bed, it's at least like 6-7 a.m. The sun's starting to like slowly come up.
That's what I figured. Then I'm gonna go to sleep.
And just crash into bed. Do you send the notes off before you do, or do you?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah, you place them on this, this scroll that he handed you has this circle on it. You sort of make a little like stack on that circle, and as you activate the scroll, as it burns up, the notes just sort of vanish where the flame would be, except that they clearly don't burn. And then they're gone. And so it's the scroll. And then you crash into bed.
I don't even change. I just like go to bed.
Flat out flop.
I'm so tired. Just go to bed.
Okay.
So that's all I did. I don't know what
Thava.
Thava was doing.
What were you doing? I'm guessing you were going to the roof?
No.
No.
I'm gonna.
Okay then.
Well, assuming everyone's in bed at this point except for Evelyn.
Yeah.
She was in her room
Oh,
though, so you're fine.
Most of the people, yeah. Everyone's sort of gone to their room. You hear a couple of snores. You hear some scribbling from Evelyn's door. You're pretty sure as you sort of stand close to it, but
I'm knocking on Rhett's door.
Huh? Brett just opens his door.
Hi,
I
Rhett.
mean, he's in his boxers, you know.
I was wondering if I could ask you some questions about that piano song.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I kind of conked out along. But come in, yeah.
Doop-a-doop-a-doop-doop.
Oh, hey, hang on. Let me just throw on something.
I'll put my hands over my eyes.
Man, I was tired out. I could barely lift that. Well, I mean, anyway.
I was wondering if the song had any, or was referencing something, if it had a particular origin.
give me an intelligence roll.
Oh, there it goes. 12. I was gonna say though, I'm fairly certain that it was referencing Vidar as like not as its origin, but in that particular scene.
I guess I mainly mean its origin then.
Yeah, you tell Fava about, the subtext, the meaning, what it's been interpreted as. In terms of origin, it's not that well known. It was a sailor song not too long ago, for obvious reasons. But it was adapted quickly into this song by another member of your guild, an older member, long dead. The origins are kind of, debated at this point. Some say that it references the origin of the cleansers who were fishermen or whalers way before they became what they are now. Or perhaps a specific person living further north where whaling is still a lot more common and a main source of, survival. But yeah, the exact origins are hard to keep track of.
So I relay all that. Is there some specific reason you're asking?
It just reminded me of something. A bit too much. Thank you, though.
I would, if you are willing, love to hear more. Not that you have to, but
There's really not much to say about it other than how this is a stone wall. These are stone walls, right?
Yes.
Just gonna close the door.
do you want me to cast like non-detection or something?
No. There's no easy way to put it. I have a theoretical question for you.
I have a theoretical answer.
Do you think that undead can be good?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure in what sense that undead, but I spoke with Badar tonight and he didn't seem blatantly evil, so sure, why not?
It reminded me of dying. I'm dead.
That would sort of explain a few things.
I'm probably not the best at hiding it, but
I suppose that well, I suppose that it wouldn't make a whole lot of difference if you're still you. You know what I mean? If you're good or bad, or honestly, to me, the good and bad isn't that like a God's thing? Which you probably know more about than me.
maybe a little, but I never was too devoted. When I guess Llewellyn just heard of my wish in my final moments and decided to do something.
Has some greater plan, I suppose.
Probably.
It's hard to know, though, with the gods. You can never. Well, if the stories are to be believed, you should never try to read too much into their intentions.
It's probably good advice.
Either way, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, you heal my friends, so you're good with me. You're not trying to make like other people permanently dead, right? So,
No,
yeah, right.
I prefer to keep as many people as I can alive.
Sounds like a good thing to me.
But yeah, the song just reminded me of, I guess, what it was like to be dead. It was
Staring
very,
into the darkness, into the shadow.
it was more chaotic than that, much like a storm.
I think I know what you mean. Well, you saw the people that attacked the guild here. I don't know if you.
I'm trying to remember what that is.
The like 3 people that killed all the guards.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Those spells they were hurling, they were, well, they sounded incredibly chaotic. Like, well, like how life, kind of has a rhythm and a steadiness and like a warmth. You're healing when you heal people. The chaos of them, killing, it just was like the opposite of that. Like the just chaos and tearing apart any semblance of order. So I think I can kind of pick up what you're talking about as far as chaos. That must have been horrible.
It was very violent. But thank you for listening. And I'd appreciate it if you try not to tell people.
I will not.
Thank you.
That being said, I know you haven't been here long, but all of us, in one way or another, we've pretty much, well, we've saved each other's lives, or I guess, I'm sorry, I'm not terribly educated in this, but what do you call an unlife?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Well, in any case, my point is that, we're pretty close here, so. I don't think that anyone would have any problem with you or judge you. If anything, the worst you're gonna face, if I'm honest, is pointing at the wall next door. over interest.
I
more
was
than
about to
uninterest.
say, you should not tell Evelyn. She'll just ask so many questions.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, other than that, it wouldn't be necessarily negative, but it might be a lot of any questions. And anyway,
Kind of right along recent interest.
Mhm.
Do you think I should tell everyone?
Yes,
Alright.
honestly, well, it's a lot like Kara, you know. You were there when she was talking about apparently being an angel or diva from the Garden of like holy, which is amazing, but also terrifying, but also amazing. I don't know.
Yeah.
That being said, I would prepare some answers for Evelyn, or you know.
It's not gonna be easy. I don't even have answers. I can't even answer myself.
Well, then we just need to run some experiments.
But you know, if I will do my best to, you know, help if you do want to, but otherwise, of course.
Also, just in case it comes up, when we were fighting the big tree and the naked man,
Yeah.
did you? I forget. Did you try to heal me?
I don't actually know. I don't think so.
Someone tried, but I don't remember who.
Okay.
I think
well,
someone tried, but that one didn't affect you.
Probably would have been me then.
Well, just so you're aware, I'm fairly positive. Any healing that you can do would
Chaos opposites. I get you now. Yep.
So I can heal myself just fine, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because divine.
No, I get the like conflicting themes. I get that.
Okay. Well. All right. That was all I wanted to ask. So good night.
Good night. Do let me know if you need anything else.
I'll remember that. Thank you.
I appreciated your help in me with that performance quite a lot. So I can do that, you know, a bit myself. Some things. So you know, let me know.
And sorry if I kind of disappeared afterwards. The song kind of had me
Completely
thinking.
understandable.
All right. Bye. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Swoosh.
Whoosh.
Swoosh. And then I go to bed.
Soleil's
Fine.
gonna draw a couple more pictures. Like
Ev-
Red
everyone-
sitting on a piano, Red sitting on a piano in the ballroom,
Nice.
and
Draw
also
red like
also
one of your
Kara,
French girls.
Kara spitting fire
Hell yeah.
before he goes to bed. Then
Red
All
in a
of you
French
get
maid outfit.
a long rest, except for Evelyn.
I'm not waking up.
At this point, unless you wake, yeah, if you wake her up, you're definitely disrupting that. Otherwise, she's probably gonna sleep until like noon
Or
to get
Mhm.
no
wake
rest.
her up. Take away 30 hit points.
I mean, I normally would, but considering it was a really long night, I won't. Because I'm getting up late myself.
Okay, so you all kind of stay in later than usual. Especially those of you who had late night talks or were up drawing for a little while as well. Not to mention the one transcribing a pretty big chunk of notes.
For once, it's Kara who gets up first. Like somewhere close to lunch.
Like what?
She comes like into
Yeah,
the
you
room,
come-
no one's
You come out
there.
of the room, no one's there, it's dead quiet, and you're like,
Well,
They
I
leave
mean, I'll
without
probably
me?
be waiting in the kitchen, in the dining hall for everyone.
Did they just leave without me?
Sava's been like up for hours just sitting at the table. Like, I thought they needed to eat.
Yeah, it's like, I had something important to say.
At this
though,
point,
no one's
Kara
here.
probably doesn't even know where everyone lives in which room, because usually they are the ones who come to her.
Yeah.
Maybe I told them all to look out the windows.
Horrible.
Okay. So, Carol wakes sort of first, other than Thava already waiting at the table. At some point, Aelith pops in and asks if you would like lunch or something similar. Since
I'll
you've
be
been
fine.
like there all morning.
I'll be fine. Thank you, though, for the offer.
And then at some point, Kara joins you as well.
Hello, Kara.
Hello.
Save for Evelyn, at this point, all the rest of you also begin waking up.
Where is everyone?
I think they're all sleeping in.
Right. I guess it was a long night for them.
How much did you drink at the party?
Not more than usual.
Not more than usual, okay.
I imagine alcohol has the opposite effect on Kara.
I think she's
Just
always
at this point, she's
kinda
a
drunk.
high-functioning alcoholic.
yes. That's how I explain her -2 in wisdom. She's just always kind of drunk.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Reasonable.
You hear a knock on the door, and Aelith pops his head back in. Food?
Yes, I'm starving.
Something warm? Something cold?
Just breakfast, I guess. If no one's awake to eat lunch, then I can just have a breakfast.
Just breakfast. Sure.
Also, I'm gonna say I brought down Dusk with me.
Okay. Did we not make a...
I guess
for Dusk?
not. No.
Yeah, we'll do that after. After a couple of minutes, he'd bring in like cooked bacon and some diced potatoes. Relatively simple. And yeah, after maybe another hour or so, you, Evelyn, give me a perception roll.
10.
Okay.
Or is
you
it my
you
passive
just-
perception
you
if
sort
I'm
of-
sleeping?
Something bothers you, but you turn around and you just go straight back to sleep.
Okay. Thank goodness I didn't interrupt my long rest.
I'm gonna check out the burned Celestial.
She lies there still on the table. The burns have receded a lot since last you saw her, though you're not quite sure if this was just natural progression, the wounds receding, or if there have been more efforts to treat her. But similar to before, she is, aside from her breathing, like dead on the table. No signs of recognition or response.
I'm gonna leave then. Oh, right.
Morning, or afternoon, or whatever it is now.
Good day.
I suppose we should head down.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
You and your fancy token.
I'm sorry.
You two
Later.
sit down at the table. A second later, Elith comes in with one plate of food. He looks at the two of you, looks down, and you hear this like slight sigh as he puts the food on the table. And a second, like a minute later or so, he comes back with two more plates, placing one in front of himself and the other in front of the other of you.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
So Soleil doesn't get any food?
No, he does. You do. One of you gets it like when he first shows up.
Okay. I thought that was for like Kara or something.
Probably for himself. The two here already have their food in front of them.
Okay.
At least at the time you show up.
Well, I guess Evelyn's gonna be sleeping for a while.
Oh yeah, I don't. Oh, is it is? Kind of look at Thapa and be like, oh.
I was gonna. I mean, I could tell her later, I suppose.
My god, this is actually the perfect opportunity.
You should definitely say it right now and never tell Emma.
I didn't even think about that.
Moral conflict.
I love how everyone is like, rather the suspicious cook hears this than our party member.
You're right.
Oh my gosh.
This man we've seen maybe a total of 24 hours over the last week or so.
Trust him, but not your crazy gnome.
What? Okay. If you don't mind giving me like 15 minutes, I think that I could perhaps make it a little better. But she really should hear it.
Alright. I
Okay.
can wait.
She should hear
before
what?
you get up there, Evelyn, give me another perception roll.
Okay. Oh, 19.
You suddenly hear a knocking. But you realize as your eyes just sort of slowly open, it wasn't on the door. It felt like the back of your mind. And then you hear the voice. Good. I tried to reach you before, but you were not there. I've taken a look at the notes. I may have a solution. It is sort of... Well, if it's true that something like disintegration is out of the question. There is one spell that definitely could. I myself do not even have access to such. But I know that there are wish scrolls available at the Archaeon. I've been trying myself to get in contact with the Archon himself, to no avail, but if an opportunity arrives, I will contact you again. I'm sure there are things that even the Archon needs done.
Let me know. I'll be available.
And the connection breaks off.
Rub my face a bit. What?
Not again.
Yes, Vidar.
Huh?
Huh? Oh. Brett. Sorry. Dreams.
About the dog?
Oh, whoa.
What time is it?
It's a little past noon at this point.
The dog. He doesn't really respond to that question.
Brett. Sorry. I was up late.
Oh, you had a productive conversation then, I take it.
Yes. Very productive.
Inside. That's fine.
Mm.
Well, I'm sure everyone would love to hear about it. Sorry, you threw me off for a bit.
Right, sorry. My still trying to wake up, I think.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
Right. So, in other news, you know how you turn to me sometimes for a little bit of advice on dealing with people and such?
Right, yes.
I came to get you for a little bit of a meeting with everybody, and as a
Does
bit of
someone
advice.
need something?
No, not really.
Oh no, you've heard of this before. They call it an intervention.
But as a bit of advice, and as a friend, I would ask you to try to not ask too many questions during the conversation. Yeah.
Well, now Evelyn is like perked up and looking at you intently. During what conversation is this that I'm not supposed to ask many questions during? With who?
And not because I think that the questions wouldn't be helpful. I think they actually would, but maybe not just in this first conversation. But just because it's a social kind of thing that.
Right.
sensitive.
So after the conversation.
Like at least a day after.
A day?
At least. I know.
I mean, do you know how much time could be wasted on something?
Well,
In a
fortunately,
day?
it sounds like you have some interesting things to work on yourself. So maybe focus on those for that day and then come back to.
I don't have anything to work on right now. I have to wait.
Oh dear.
Oh boy.
So a good distraction would be nice. Give me a moment to get ready. I think, are we heading out of town today anyways?
I think so. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, give me a moment to
Okay.
find something to put on, and that's not my dress.
Well, I got this nice dress the other day.
Sure, that will do.
Okay.
Be down in a moment.
Okay. I realize it's a big ask, but this is what you rely on me for sometimes.
I
you
will
know?
do my best.
Thank you.
Get up, get dressed. Slowly make my way after shaking my head a couple of times downstairs.
So what were we talking about, Aelith? Oh yeah, what did you do before you became a cook here?
Piracy in the high sea. I mean,
Yarg.
Huh? Oh, you know, odd jobs here and there. Just used to work on a train, actually.
Hmm. Which kind of train?
Yeah, just loading and unloading cargo.
So at the train yard here in Polythreme.
Well, more like on the trains.
Oh, so you traveled a lot.
A bit. It was mostly, back and forth, the same train.
And you just packed stuff.
Yes.
That sounded sus.
You know, you can always smuggle stuff while packing it on a train.
Give me an insight check.
I'm not saying that out loud. Inside check.
But you're thinking it, so give me an insight
Yeah.
check.
Ooh, that's very bad. Let's see, what do I have on inside? Oh, I actually have a +5, so it's an 8!
Yeah, I mean, you don't really know what, packing and unpacking stuff on a train involves, so... You kind of just take his word for it.
Okay. So, what were you talking about when you just left, Red? Said something to Fava.
He just left.
Yeah.
Oh, he did?
5-minute
said-
break, gotta go pee.
I got a pizza!
He said something. I'm gonna prepare her for the conversation or something like that. And Soleil was like, "What conversation?"
Beggar just likes giving me dilemmas. Like, oh, yes, the best way to kill this thing is with a wish scroll.
Oh no! Yeah, I was thinking about like, what could we do with the wish scroll instead?
I'm like, I could use it to kill that thing, or this long list of other things.
What if we wish for
Beggar
enough
stepped
money
away.
to buy more wish scrolls?
I wish for my wishes.
Exactly.
Oh, baby, a wish scroll. Totally not overpowered and won't backfire.
Can't you build a soul separator?
Yeah, I'll put that next on my list.
I feel like if we get rid of the soul, we can kill the rest of the body too.
No, the problem is that it didn't have a soul.
Oh, I thought she implemented a soul into it, so it worked.
The note suggested that it should work on a being that had a soul versus the animal that was the boar that didn't have a
okay.
soul.
Or at
That,
least
that's
wasn't
why
strong
it
enough.
was right. That's why it was like
Imperfect.
because there was no soul.
Didn't have enough will to hold on to its reality type of thing.
Or we just transfer a soul into it, so it stops being the asshole.
No, I need it to die, asshole or not. It must die. It's the only thing in this world that I think apparently should die.
True.
That would also prove that immortality isn't really immortality.
Only because it's an imperfect solution, and there's a perfect solution out there somewhere. Proves nothing. What do you know? You're just a cat with a hat.
That is way more true than I'd like to admit. At least it's a cat with a head that also knows how to slit one's throat.
That's true. That changes it.
That changes quite a bit.
An extremely dangerous cat.
That goes from like Dr. Seuss to something dangerous
Yeah.
and deadly. And
We're
like, oh
talking
no.
about Dr. Seuss.
That goes
That's
from
right.
Dr. Seuss to Puss in Boots.
That's
why I
true.
called you all down here. We're talking about this new book. I
I'm
called
trying
it
to
Dr.
understand it.
Seuss.
I'm pretty sure when we recruited Aelith that I deduced he was at least some kind of smuggler.
Yes,
Whoa.
that sounds about right.
Who knows what kind of stuff he's smuggling out of here.
But I also deduced he was actually an acceptable level of cook.
I bet he's a dirty crime
Yeah, he
boy.
might smuggle with information then.
Welcome back, there you go.
Wow. Now,
I mean, I did tell him if he ever got an offer to smuggle information, I would pay him double. So, you know, he hasn't come
whoa.
up with that. Like, I literally told him that.
But what if the other person says a quadruple that double?
If
Well,
you
I'm gonna
quadruple
need
a
to-
double, that's like eightfold.
I'm gonna need to do some more performances of balls, it sounds like.
Okay. Is everyone here?
Yes, I think so.
And you have the run of the city at this point.
Whoa.
You're all
we run
awake.
the city.
Did I get my full rest, or was that
Yes.
lost? Okay.
You might not have had like the full 8 hours, but you also didn't really do anything exhausting the day before, so.
I talked to my parents. Excuse me.
Okay. I mean, physically. So.
My hands are
Well.
sore from all the painting.
Just out of curiosity, how finished is Aelith with his food?
How what?
How finished is he with it? Like, is his plate almost empty, or
Wait, who?
Aelith?
He's probably eaten most of it.
Pardon me, Aelith. Could you do me a favor and maybe leave the room for a little bit?
Sure. Of course.
Thank you.
He sort of hesitantly steps to the door. He looks like inside again before like slowly closing the door.
All by
He
myself.
steps down the stairs.
Soleil raises an eyebrow. But you just send out Aelith.
Well, I don't know him that well.
To be fair, you don't know any of us all that well either, do you?
No. But
Questions?
Never mind, ignore me. My apologies.
oh,
When Reginald is
oh, there he goes. I think it'll be fine if you ask questions. Just know that I don't have all the answers. Just waiting to see what you're gonna do with Richard. I need to make it so I can't see. Hold on. There's no easy way to put this, but I told Red last night about it, and I figured after Kara shared all those details about her, you know, backstory in the garden and the stuff that I should share. I'm kind of dead.
Soleil was just eating and just in the middle of his she's like, you what?
Ellen just turns and looks at Rhett like, you bastard.
Steadily looking at Papa, not.
It's all there really is to it. I'm dead. You can feel my pulse if you'd like.
Oh, you're not? I'm talking to you.
I'm... Alright, more accurately, I'm undead.
You can smell Soleil just lean a little bit over and just...
I don't smell.
I see that. Interesting. I mean, what?
What? It's, what happened to my village? There was no survivors. Myself included. But, in my last moments, I offered a prayer to Llewellyn, and it seemed like she answered them in her own way. Because after time, I just woke up under the moon. I don't know why. I don't know. Well, I guess I have a faint idea how divine stuff and all. But, man, it's quiet in here.
Ellen's still staring at Rhett.
Soleil stares at Evelyn, very surprised that she doesn't ask questions.
Tapping her fingers on the table.
Oh, well, that is the thing.
But why didn't he revive you completely?
That is a good question that you've asked.
Sweating slightly at this point. Looks at Kara.
I
Uh-huh.
can't really know the answer of the gods. But,
Of course.
undeath is one of her domains, I believe. So it
I see.
matches. I think it is, if I recall.
Why did she choose you then? Were you like a priest beforehand too?
Not
Also
at
a
all.
great question.
No, I was not the... You can ask questions if you want. I will not have all the answers.
Rick kind of shrugs.
Do you bleed?
I guess it's mostly congealed. So it's... not really.
Okay.
I can cut my arm off and put it back on.
So your
Can you-
body is in a form of stasis of sorts, is what I'm hearing. That wasn't a question. Right.
That
Statement.
sounds alright. Yeah.
As if it was constantly decaying, there wouldn't be anything but dust within your veins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't think you'll be able to answer this question, but if, for example, there was someone else out there that needed to be alive or perhaps undead, you wouldn't really know how to replicate that, right?
I do not think I can replicate what happened to myself. No.
But you certainly would share that if you knew how, right? Kind of nodding, like hoping for a yes.
I don't know if I would want to make people undead.
Well, I mean, if someone was really deserving of being back, I'm sure that you would do everything in your power to help with that.
I suppose so, but I would probably try literally anything before trying to make them undead.
But you don't think you even could in the first place.
I don't think so, no.
Certainly a lot of questions that you're asking there, Rhett. Are you sure that's proper?
Okay. What do you want to ask?
Do you feel pain?
I do. I do feel pain.
Well, can I just ask her, or do I have to
As
ask
long
you?
as it's not like, oh, well, can I? What, do you think that your soul has been peeled out of your body and it's completely separated?
I wasn't going to start there.
Well, look,
How
That's-
quietly are you guys listening?
Not quietly.
Okay, like,
Very quick.
whisper
You can
shouting.
just ask me questions, I don't mind.
I've been informed that apparently my questions aren't always appropriate.
Oh,
And so I'd made an agreement out of the goodwill of my heart to not ask questions for a day.
Which I may
Regarding
point out
a
was
conversation.
Very generous of you.
I think it'll be fine.
Look back at Rhett.
I mean, he's like kind of shrugs, like,
just don't start with that one, please.
Right. You said that you could reattach your limbs if they came off. Does that mean that they like grow back together, that they're remolding, or is it just sticking like glue?
I need to use healing on myself to actually reattach it.
So you can heal, but you're dead. So is it normal healing? Is it different type of healing? Is it normally healing is bringing something back from the edge of death or to life? So
I want to say divine healing works on me, but if it's of the more arcane, it won't.
So like if you drank like a potion, that wouldn't necessarily work. Probably not, because your body's...
It would.
Does your body even digest food still?
I can eat and digest food. Yeah.
So you're dead, but your organs are still operating. Or some of them? Because you stated that you didn't have a pulse? Do you get to choose if you want your organs to operate? Is that a thought process? If you're
I've never
digesting something,
chosen
do you
yet.
have...
This is the kind of question.
These are better. This is not the answer. I
If you
can't.
need me to answer anything,
Do you only
take
saw my
home.
organs work?
straight for the organs question.
I just assumed I didn't have a pulse.
so you don't have a pulse.
Okay.
Your organs work, but they don't do anything for you. So you digest food But obviously, you know, it just gets digested. You don't actually get any nourishment from it. It just
Okay.
goes back out
Okay.
after a while.
Okay.
At least you edit
I
after a
ordered
while.
two
So do you
arcs, they
need
just
do you
don't do
need
anything.
to breathe then? Is air something that you need to survive?
Remember when we were fighting that naked man and he was trying to choke me?
Right.
Yeah,
you always go
back to the naked man.
So you don't require air.
You do not need to breathe.
That is neat.
But do your lungs still operate? Or is it specifically only your digestive system that has chosen to continue to exist?
I should point out she's still talking, so they must, because talking air, you know.
So they operate, but you just don't need to use them.
Right. They
So
don't
what
do
if you inhaled poison?
Okay,
do know
so
poison doesn't affect me that
theoretically,
much.
not like we're going to test you inhaling poison, right? Right. Okay.
Well, I mean,
do know that
theoretically to a
poison
point,
does not. It has trouble to affect me.
but it can affect you.
Yes.
So you're only like partially undead, like slightly, like on that line,
I'm pretty sure I'm dead.
dead. So what if we chopped off your head?
Alright.
Theoretically.
I'm pretty sure that would kill me.
So, but how can you die? Not alive. Sorry.
Well, I mean, if you
You would stop operating at that point in time.
I'm pretty sure.
So, why?
That's a very broad question, and I don't know for what.
Why are you in this form that you're in? Why are you here? Why are you fighting to stay alive? Why did you stay alive? Why were you chosen and not others?
That is a question to ask Lulin, not me. Most
Right,
of
well,
them.
the gods are a bunch of... I mean, sorry.
I view it as I have been given a chance to try and make sure what happened to me doesn't happen to others.
Why? You seem to be operating fine. You have your wits about you. You, unlike Brago, who is a wild beast running the streets, you're essentially immortal to an extent, it seems. Maybe more flimsy. And since you can lose limbs and not necessarily always get them back, and you can still take damage of some form, but you seem to be... have your mind. You could live this life. Why wouldn't you want to give that to others?
I'm not. Wait. I'm not sure I followed the question.
Well, you've died. There's
Yes.
plenty of people out there who don't want to. Or shouldn't have. So, when you're looking at the potential of continuing to exist beyond life, why wouldn't you want someone to exist the way that you're existing?
Well, that is more of a.
Or is it that morals thing?
It has to do with morals a little, but
It seemed like last night you discussed a lot of the chaotic and extremely painful nature of Well, the whole dying bit.
When I died, for a large majority of the time, all I could experience was much like that song that you were playing at the fall. It was like a chaotic storm of just a lot of emotion. And I would assume I never went to the Garden of Souls, because I wouldn't call that the garden. And
How
that
long
was
have you been in this form?
as I am?
Yes.
Maybe about a month, but I was dead for several.
Wait, so it took several months for the god to revive you?
I would assume so. I don't know what the reason could have been.
But your
But
body didn't decay during that time?
I don't know if it did, or if it was remade, or if it was preserved, or I don't. I only know that I woke up just on the ground under moonlight. And that's when I came to.
But you're not in pain now.
No.
It was just that transformation that was painful or chaotic.
I don't know if it was the transformation that was painful, or just being dead and not in the garden.
So you were in pain for several months.
Yes.
That sounds horrible.
Is there anything you remember? Like, where were you? What did you see?
Just lights, and it was mainly just lights, and it just felt like a storm, and there was a lot of fear and dark, maybe a bit lonely. There's not much else to say. It was just frightening. I wouldn't want to do it again.
So you would assume that others would not want to do it then, since you would not do it again?
Partially that, and then morally, and then I don't know, what if you fall in love, and then the other person doesn't want to, so then they die but you don't, and then it's like, oh, that's sad. I read it in the book.
What if you fell in love with someone and you could bring them back? Wouldn't that be worth it?
No, mortals shouldn't play with such things.
Says someone who could see these souls whenever they wanted to. who sees them as something more of like a source of energy for a garden for the gods.
Don't think that's how it works.
That's it.
Shouldn't that be an individual's choice, though? Whether or not they wanted to make that decision, not some will of the gods.
No. Gods have... Death exists for a reason. Can't just...
Maybe the gods are wrong.
To be
They're
honest,
gods.
the gods don't seem to care that much.
They
Why do
know
they get
so
to-
much more than any mortal could ever even grasp.
Oh, you could say that about anything. You could say that about the nobles and regarding the lower paid civilians and the people living on the streets. Well, no, it's the nobles have made these decisions for them because they know better and they know more. But it's not for their good, it's for their own good.
Yes, but the nobles and the poor are all just mortals.
So because they have immortality as a god, they gain knowledge and power and the ability to say what is right and wrong.
Because they're ancient and all
They had to
powerful.
start somewhere, though. They weren't always ancient.
That's what the stories say. They did. Well, at least some of them were once mortals. Actually, I don't know. I don't know, Bagger, if that's true in this universe. Are there stories about the gods starting? Some of them starting as mortals.
Not particularly.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever.
The machine had
But
once
you
was a
can make 'em
Give
up.
me a religion check.
Now there are. He's just spouting off stories he's making up.
I mean, I could, but no.
There's a guy name's James.
Yeah, straight 15.
You feel like there may have been a story about one god once being mortal, but it's definitely not a theme among gods.
Okay.
They're just built different.
What if the gods don't want to share the secret with us because they want to stay the only gods?
I think I can see a little bit of both sides. Like, respectfully, Kara, I don't think you're wrong about maybe a majority and as a whole that the gods can see as a whole the way forward, perhaps. But it certainly seems, from your own experience, that that sight is imperfect and they can be surprised and they can not know things and not know how to deal with things. So I don't think it's too unreasonable to say that perhaps in a few circumstances that it wouldn't be objectionable on, you know, seeing who should live and not.
Just don't think that those decisions should be made lightly.
Well, yeah, certainly not.
I wouldn't say it's being made lightly.
I think, to Soleil's point, the gods in many ways are indifferent to individuals. So, I mean, they just kind of make decisions that they think, you know, as a whole are whatever works in some grander scheme that we can't quite see, maybe.
I came to the conclusion they just don't care.
Just because you don't understand their reasons doesn't mean they don't have any.
Well, if I have a good reason to kill someone in the streets, doesn't make it right.
Depends on the reason.
Well, as long as I just say I have a reason, and you have to believe what I say.
Yet if I have a reason that I want to offer immortality to someone. At some point in time, there always has to be a line that you're always looking for. If we just accepted things as they were, then there would be no progression. Things would never change.
But if everyone becomes immortal and lives forever, things would change.
Who's to say that would be a bad change?
I mean, respectfully, Kara, I would say that the change that's already happening is very negative. So, I mean, look at the world.
I mean, you could say it's bad because people are dying, and if they wouldn't be able to die, it wouldn't be as bad.
No, but if no one ever dies, then there's not going to be any change anymore. Everything's just going to stay the same forever.
Well,
I think people would be too
Might
bored
agree.
to stay the same. People get bored of the same thing. They change. Regardless of mortality or immortality.
No, sure. I mean, maybe you would be right, but I think it's more maybe about having the choice and being able to live a full life before you go.
You don't have to force it on everyone, but give the option.
I don't know.
Some lives are just cut short. Faster than they should. Why is that right? Who gets to say?
There's already ways to revive someone, bring someone back for there to live out more time, but that time shouldn't be unlimited.
Only certain people have those skills, and it's only at the will of the supposed gods about who gets to come back and who doesn't. Seems about a bit unfair still.
Yeah, maybe it's not about immortality, but about having the choice to at least live a full life.
Well, that's not the fault of the gods, it's just the fault of how humans or mortals deal with things.
well, the gods have created the models. Why haven't they created them perfectly after their image?
I think that's a pretty easy one, in that we all kind of get to decide what we do, and it's not like we make the best decisions all the time. So,
Yeah, why haven't they created us to make us the best, to let us make the best decisions?
They have given mortality for a reason, and they have given free will for a reason. I do not claim to understand them.
I suppose that's why we're different, is that I'm not accepting the unknown or the knowledge of some otherworldly creature to be an acceptable answer at the end of the day, which is what, as far as people who wouldn't have faith in things, that's great. It's just not for me. I can't accept that there's just, well, that's just the way it is, or, well, they know better.
no, I think Kara made a good point. They have given free will for a reason. And if it is our free will to pursue something that can change life, maybe that actually is part of their plan. You don't know. By your own words, you don't know.
I guess so.
If it's not, I mean, surely they'll intervene. Example Thava, they clearly intervened with her. So won't they come back and intervene if it's something that's really some type of terrible thing that's outside of their plan? You know what I mean?
They might.
Kara, I've seen you do some pretty incredible things with the gifts that you've been given. But I think that not everyone has access to those same gifts, and that not all of us can have the same faith that you do.